I reinvented myself 4 times. I started in hotels about 21 years back. I got into process consulting. I got into banking. And today I look after human resource development across the region for 21 countries. Now the important thing, why am I sharing this with you? The reason I'm sharing this with you is that all of us can reinvent ourselves. The important thing is that are you that person who thinks you can, or you're that person who thinks you can't? Now, there's a beautiful question called why. You heard of the question why? Do you have this question, why should I work so hard? Why should I prepare? Why should I study? Do you get those questions? Self-doubt? Why should I do this job? It's not easy, right? How many of you get those questions? Why should I do this? Thank you. Why should I do this job? Why should I study? Why should I prepare? It's so difficult. The question I want to leave you with is, why not? Why not study? Why not do that job? Why not prepare? Because if you don't, it's going to be a difficult time ahead. What I want to give you some facts, some possibilities, what's happening out there in the world. How can you be different? And the beautiful thing is the rules of the game are changing, my friends. They are totally changing. In the past, what did your parents tell you to be? Can I ask you, what did your parents tell you to be when you were small? Or what was their aspiration that you should be when you grew up? Doctor or an engineer, traditional jobs. Can I ask one more person, what did your parents expect you to be? Yeah? Doctor or engineer, anyone in that group, what did your parents expect you to be? Ma'am? A person who has a secure, stable, lifelong government job. Yeah. Now, those are traditional jobs. Are you aware that there are new jobs? Have you heard of a job called data augmentation specialist? Anyone? No one. Have you heard of the word artificial intelligence? How many of you know coding? The future is changing. Have you heard of the gig economy? Oh, one person. Can you enlighten us, what is the gig economy, sir?
It's to do with IT.
It does, but it's much more than that. Anyone, how many of you know how to take pictures? In the gig economy, you can sell your pictures. How many of you know how to do videos? In the gig economy, you can sell your videos for dollars US. Have you heard of a platform called Fiverr? F-I, oh, one person. What does Fiverr do? Yeah. So do they sell videos on Fiverr? Graphics, yeah. So they have graphic designers, they have videographers, they have photographers, they have voice-over artists. You can sell anything over there, and there are kids like you selling and making dollars and millions. Okay, here's the simple math. $1 into 1 million people. How many dollars? $1 million. You want that? That's it. That's the gig economy. $1 for your product, but you sell to 1 million people, and you got a population of, come on, someone tell me, come on, what do you mean? I want to hear you, you don't say like that. What's the population of the world? 7 billion people. What's the percentage? Somebody do the math. 1 million is what percentage of 7 billion? Okay, 0.1%. Yeah, 0.1%. 0.1% is your target audience. Can't you do that? Can't you make one product to be sold in $1 to 1 million people? You gotta be joking me. If you can't, then all your life is you put in the word. Yeah? So their life is changing. The question is, are you asking why me or why not me? That's just something you want to ask me. Anyway, going forward, that's me. I have done a lot of work and I have reinvented myself, and today my job is to help people develop skills. And you know, the funny thing is that I help people develop skills and I educate them on executive education, and I wonder, why did I hire people from school? Because everything they learn in school they have to forget in the workforce. And still we need to hire educated people. Isn't that funny? Everything you learn in school, and I'm not saying that, Einstein said education is what you remember after you leave school. Those of you who are working, this is not for the guys who are still in school, university. Those of you who are working, anyone, can you put your hands up please? Working. Sir, the gentleman with the coat. How much of the education learnt in school is useful in the workplace? Zero. Give him a round of applause, come on. That's a man with courage. Zero. He didn't think twice. It is like that. And even if it's not zero, you can argue it's 10%, 15%, 20%, maybe. You know, to pay the bill in the restaurant, you need to do addition. But then why do we study so much? The problem is the rule of the game. If you want that job and they want to graduate, they want an MBA, you got to give them that. It's like a game of football. Can you lift the football and throw it in the basketball? You can't. You'll be disqualified. It's the rule of the game. So if you want the job of an engineer, of a doctor, of a lawyer, you got to play by the rules of the game. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. But the rules of the games are changing as well. Are you looking at those rules as well? So these are two things I'm going to go a little bit more deeper. Is this giving you some hope and sense of what the two possibilities are? There's a possibility of having the traditional jobs, but there's also the possibility of doing something absolutely radical. And you control this possibility. This possibility doesn't need credentials, education. If Steve Jobs sent his CV to a company called IBM, would they hire him? How many think yes, they will hire him? Zero. They will not, because he's a school dropout. But did he not create the most valuable company in the world? Because he changed the rules of the game. There are only three options you have, just three. If you want to play the traditional game, follow the rules. Yes? If you want to change the rules, then join a game where you have the power to change the rule. Option 2. And option 3, if these things don't work for you, keep changing the game till the time you find the game which works for you. Make sense? Any questions so far? Okay, let's move on. I have just two objectives and I've covered part of that in here. What is the relationship between career and personal development, and what's the future of work? Let's quickly move on. You don't get what you want in life, you get who you are in life. Who's gonna solve this puzzle? You wanna try? What does it mean? Yes. So when you climb to a high position, you can get things. Yes. Let's make it a little bit more tangible so we can catch it. Anyone else have anything else to say? Yes.
So it's not about expecting the output, it's about the input you have. So
Yes.
I'm in the group, so I can only expect what I have.
Exactly. If this is the only input have, this is the only you can expect. Now, what does it mean in the jobs market? What does it mean for your career? It means you can want that job, and let's assume that job is of an engineer, but unless you have the qualification and the experience of the engineer, you will not get that. So what you are is the engineer because of the qualification and credentials. Now similarly, if it was Steve Jobs, now Steve Jobs wanted to create the iPhone, but if it does not have the ability to visualize the iPhone, have the vision of the iPhone, have the capabilities to understand the iPhone, he cannot have it. So you have to build. The answer lies in tangible things like capabilities, competencies, skills. Whatever you want, are you building those in you? And let's go deeper into this. What does it mean? The relationship between personal and career development. Have you seen TED Talks? Okay, one or two people. How many of you spend some time every day to develop yourself? Every week? Every month? What are we doing today is helping you develop yourself. But unless you develop yourself every day, every week, magic is not going to happen. Career is nothing but a consequence of your personal development. What is personal development? I spoke about the traditional work. Personal development for that is the education you take, is the experiences you take. If you want to get into the gig economy, that is create your own career, then still you need those skills. You gotta be the best photographer out there, the best videographer out there, the best coder out there, the best app maker out there. You don't need education for that, but you still have to educate yourself. Example. Do you know what was the education of Ray Kroc? You know, heard of the name of the guy? Ray Kroc. I'm sure you eat from his enterprise almost every week. Once a week, once a lifetime. Who's Ray Kroc? Someone? McDonald's. The founder of McDonald's. Now, do you know, was he educated? No, he wasn't. But would you say he was not educated and he didn't personally develop himself? Nobody is better than him in the franchisee modeling system on the planet. Nobody is better than him in the efficiency he used to bring the burgers out. Then he educated himself in the science of delivering burgers across the world. What are you educating yourself on? Anyone out here is a passionate person who's educating himself on developing an enterprise like McDonald's? Not yet. But are you thinking about it? Did you think about it? And I want to leave you with this question, because if you don't think about it, you don't do anything about it, nothing is going to happen. And you're going to be the person, why do it? So boring, I'd rather watch a movie or have a beer. You got to do something about it. And there's a plan I want to share with you. Moving on, qualification versus experience. I said qualification are not important. But if you want a job in the traditional marketplace, you need those qualifications. So they do serve a purpose. But our friend said the amount of work or usefulness of qualification in the workplace is zero. I agree. I train millions of people. I ask him, why do I have to teach him everything? Because I have to run a corporate university in an organization, in a large multinational organization. Why? Because there are skills they don't have. We got to keep on training them. So I say this, education is important, but experience eat education for breakfast. Let's test this theory. Can I use you, sir? May I invite you? So my friend over here, what's your name, sir? Prashant. Now Prashant, is there something you really love doing? Some game, something at all?
Games, running.
Running. He loves running. Now, how many people in your lifetime you know who learned running by reading a book? Okay, thank you, Prashant. Do you know anyone who learned running by reading a book? Nobody. That's what we're doing in school. We're trying to learn running a company, running a business, doing a job by reading a book. We can't learn running by reading a book, right? So how can we learn any other job? You got to be a doer. Therefore, experience eats education for breakfast. And when I say the word experience, I don't mean the years and years of experience. I mean the work like Dheeraj is doing over here. Give him a round of applause. Come on, guys. A part of it is for you. You benefit. But what is he gaining? Experience of doing these workshops. And that experience is powerful because today he's doing at good labs, tomorrow maybe he's going to do in Vanchai Convention Center. What is stopping him? Nothing. But step by step, he's building his experience. What is stopping you? Can you tell me I'll be really super happy if one person tells me you're following a dream you have here? One person in the whole room. And that dream doesn't have to be a business, it can be a job. Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. Can we give a round of applause for this lady? You know, a magical thing happens when you follow what you really, really want to do. Okay, so you got to keep on staying with that. When you do what you love, you don't work at all. You heard that? Now there's something you need to change over there, because if you're not enjoying it, there's something you need to change. When I work 10 hours and I'm doing speaking, coaching, facilitating, I don't feel exhausted, I feel energized. And that's a little bit peep into what you're doing, right? So when you do what you love, you really time ceases to exist. Moving on. Qualifications help you get a job, but experience help you retain that job. Because once you get the job, qualifications go out of the window. And all that matters is your performance. And performance comes out of your experiences. Moving on. Hard versus soft skills. You all know that, right? So I'm not going to go deeper into that. But what I want to tell you is that all these guys like Ray Kroc, Steve Jobs, they were extremely good in the soft skills. They were students of life. Technical skills are the skills like accounting, the skills like financial crime, the skills like coding. Important. But more important are the soft skills. And in the future, right now the demand for technical skill is here and life skill is here. The future is going to be like this. Why? Because machines are going to take over your jobs. And anything, and here's the principle, what can the machine take over? Machine will take over anything which is replicable. You can replicate, it's mundane, it's time and again and then again. Anything which is an exact science, yes or no answer, 0 or 1 answer, the machines can take over. Have you used Uber? You used Uber taxi rides? Do you know before Uber, machines were not making decisions? Do you think a human is allocating the taxi for you? Is the AI, is the machine allocating? You know how many jobs have gone because of that? In Hong Kong, they're still struggling because the red taxis still have 10 phones on the screen and they're still managing call centers. But in every country, like India, the black and yellow taxi in Bombay is almost finished. In New York, there are more Ubers than actual normal taxis because the problem they're solving is huge and they're brilliantly efficient. Humans can't be more efficient than computers. And they don't have emotional problems. Right? In the workplace, let's delve deeper into that. This is a very important pyramid. This is based on psychological science, the retention levels on your learning types. So we spoke about learning, and you clearly need to master your craft. When I started writing 10 years back, it used to take me hours to pull out one article. Right now, I can pull one article out in 5 minutes because you go in a flow. And because I've been writing every day at least 1 hour in the last 4 years. So the more you work on a craft, the better it gets. Your passion is one thing, but your passion needs to convert into a skill. You need proper development. Which is the lowest learning? The lowest retention of which type of learning? Come on, can you read that? Lecture, the method you learn in school has the lowest retention. That's why you forget everything. And the highest learning? What I'm doing now, teaching back. Take opportunities to teach back, and when you teach back, your own learning becomes super strong. Yeah? Everyone okay with this? Alright, let's move on. The future of work. Now, obviously, you'll find a million resources on the net on this. So I'm not going to go very deep in this, but I'm going to get you started. Future of work is actually the 4th revolution. You heard of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd revolution? How many of you heard of the fourth revolution? Nobody? The fourth revolution is becoming really, really big. The first revolution was by steam. The second revolution by electricity. The third revolution was the computers and net. The fourth is convergence. Convergence of three things: digital, biological, and physical. Example, Apple Watch is talking to my body, physical and biological. It is a thing which I'm carrying, and it's digital. You have robots which run faster than human beings today. The world is changing so fast. Are you listening? Are you still sleeping? Who woke up at 1 o'clock today? If you're sleeping when opportunity is knocking on the door, my friends, nothing can help you. And I'm not saying, maybe you had an emergency, but the point is that discipline is very important. If you don't have a discipline of doing things what you love, your love is just going to go out of the way. Because it takes time for love to become a skill which people pay for. You may love doing writing, but unless you write an article which the journalist or the newspaper is going to pay for, it's not a skill. It takes time to develop a love into skill. And that's the problem the world has. They misinterpret passion. Passion is good, but I don't care about your passion unless you add value to my company. And you can only add value to my company when you actually are brilliant in what you do. And that takes time. Yeah? Moving on. Very quickly. The changing workforce. This is what I spoke about, the gig economy. Today, I already gave you one example. This is the second example, Fiverr. You can post your work online, but only if your work is worth selling. Only if it's a skill people want to pay for. And if people don't want to pay for your love, then the love is only for you. It's useless for them. Is it making sense? Moving on. My father worked for one company in a lifetime. I worked for 5. My son is going to work for 5 companies at the same time. That's the future. Example, today you don't have to work for one company because you can have contracts. The people who believe in self-work, they can have contracts with 5 companies. And a simple example, a videographer. Can you not have 5 contracts with 5 companies? Yes. Even in the traditional world, you can have that. But the future, such jobs are increasing at a very, very fast pace because people don't want to work for a 9-to-5 boring job. They want different kind of job. They want variety. And companies, they don't want to pay for your pension, your medical, your holiday, your leave. They don't. So it works for both the guys. And that's what is changing. In the Western world, 50% of the workforce is not permanent. In Asia, this change is slowly coming very quickly. Not now, but it's coming. So the government job may be the only safest place. But all other jobs will not be permanent. And why should be? People want to pay for skills. If you want to be a journalist, you'll get paid for your beautiful work. And you've got so many opportunities. You can write a blog. You can get paid for your book. You can get paid from the newspaper. There's so many opportunities. But are you really good in what you do? Moving on. That's my last message. Why not you and why not now? If you ask this question, if this is one question you remember from this small little talk, why not you, why not now, you will never feel demotivated because no matter what I said, and today maybe I inspire you a little bit, but tomorrow again those demons inside will gonna come and they're gonna say, why me? But then we got to ask him a counter question. Why not me? Why can't I change the world? Why can't I get the job? Why can't I do that article which people are going to pay for? And if you ask that question, why not me and why not now, you're going to change the world. Thank you very much.